Now we've had all the livery reveals, and I'm going to go through and give you my 1 to 10 of the best. And we've had some completely new liveries all together, haven't we, with the new Visa Carb team, the Racing Bulls, and we also got the Stake F1. Some evolutions, majority with Williams, Mercedes, Ferrari, Alpine, McLaren and Haas. And some that just remained the same, didn't they, with the Red Bull and the Aston Martin teams. I mean, as good as they are. But there we have it. Let's go through my order. We'll start at the bottom, and it has to be the Alpine team, weren't they? It was actually just disappointment. I mean, when we seen that car, it was pretty much all black with the odd little sticker over the sign, and they got some fancy designer to do that. And I'd kind of think I'd be a bit disappointed if that was me, to be honest with you. If you paid some designer and they came up with that, it was, yeah, heavily sort of criticised or disliked by the fans, wasn't it? And especially considering how blue and bright last year's car was, this year's was, yeah, actually really underwhelming and disappointing. And it's a 10th on the list for me, and it probably is for most people, isn't it, that one? 9th, I'm going to go for Stake F1, which is probably a bit of a surprise for you. Yes, it's a bit bright and green and all that sort of zazz, isn't it? But I just really didn't like the sort of step side of the engine cover, and even when you see it on track, it looks a bit just like excess Flovis, especially in testing the way we've seen it. Under the lights, I imagine it'll look fantastic, but we only get a handful of night races, don't we now? So for the majority, I just think it looks a bit gamey. I've kind of, not really liked it as much as I thought I probably would, to be honest with you. And the more I see that step on the engine cover, the more I kind of hate that. In 8th place, I'm going to go for the Williams, despite really liking this. Now, when you put them all in context, it's more of an evolution, really, and it's actually a little bit dull, isn't it? I wish they'd use sort of the brighter blue that we see on the Komatsu sign on the side of the car, if you have a look at that. And if we had more of that, I think that would be really, really nice. It's overall a decent logo livery, and there's nothing massively wrong with it, but I think when I compare it to some of the other ones, there's not a lot in some of them, to be fair, because one place above them I've put Haas in 7th place, and either or could be in each of these positions, Williams or Haas. But I did like theirs. I do like the colour scheme. It's well done. It's much more together. I do like the red, white and black as a colour scheme for the Haas. Overall, I think this is a nice looking car. And I can't really complain too much about this one. In 6th place, I've got Red Bull, and it could be lower down in 9th in the fact that they actually didn't do an awful lot or anything at all, did they, to be honest with you? Everything just remained the same as it was last year. But the thing is I actually do like the livery as it is. There's just something unique. It's nice. And I think the only less disappointing thing, and it's why it's probably so low down, is that they just didn't add extra any other elements to it. It's the 20th year of Red Bull, and there was some sort of special livery would have been fantastic, or just some extra little element on that would have been, really topped it off. But it just really wasn't that way to be, was it, unfortunately. And in 5th place, I've gone for Aston Martin, and these are, Red Bull and Aston Martin again could be switched over, because it's almost exactly the same, wasn't it, as last year. The only difference being we've got the Aramco green on the back, and I think last year's looked better, didn't it, just having it with the black background. But the British Racing Green is a really, really nice colour. You just cannot go wrong with it, and I can't see what else they should and could do with it. It was just more refined, just much nicer, and I can't really fault it. But again, much like the Red Bull, it's just nice if they just added a little bit of difference. Like Ferrari is always red, we know that, but look at what they've done this year. And then comes the Visa Carb, and because I think this really popped. It was just really historic Toro Rosso vibes. It was nice. I still like it. As I said, the only bit that I don't really like is that sort of small splash when you look head on the nose cone. But the way it runs around the rest of the car, I actually really like this logo on this livery. And I think the fact that it's a lot more colour and it's not all black, for me is Absolutely fantastic. And the top three have gone for third place. I've gone for McLaren. They were straight out the box with their one, didn't they? But I actually really like the black and orange. It works really, really well. They've done it so good on this car overall. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, they pretty much got all of it bang on, haven't they? And easily could have been up in second place, this one for me. But in second place, I've gone for Mercedes. I think they've done a fantastic job getting the silver to black blend the way they've done it. Head on, it looks very silver actually, especially when you're looking testing as well. I've seen it on track a few times, and the mix that they've got on it, I actually think it looks even better now that I've seen it out on track. One of the really, really nice logos from Mercedes, a fantastic job there. And to top it for me has to be Ferrari. And the one thing actually that I wasn't too sure about was that front red little panel at the front of the front wing being on just one element, but when you watch it coming down the straight, all of it just looks absolutely stunning. I really like the yellow and white lines that they've got on this year's car. I'm glad they've introduced some yellow onto that. But yeah, for me it's absolutely stunning as this Ferrari, and it tops the lot. It's the number one spot for Liveries, and as you'll see in my predictions video, could be right there at the top as well, isn't it? But there we are, that's the Liveries 1 to 10. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment as always. I'll see you next time.